Yeah, so Dota, anything is possible, and we'll see if that theory gets proven correct. As I feel like the TikTok was necessary right there. The sound of me just watching you try to understand the Kevin Garnett reference, just being like, he got this one
Yeah,
right.
I don't even know who that is really. I've heard the name, but yeah, I'm too busy predicting everything for
Who do you think
EHOME
gets a
here.
blink dagger first? Zeal or Tiny on
I went
Imitator?
with Zeal. I went with Zeal. I hope he doesn't, mess me up with some utility item build.
I feel like CDEC have a decent Roche potential. I'm going to put them. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. I'm doing 20 to 30 minutes. And then player with the highest total magic or pure damage done to heroes. What'd you put?
30 seconds.
I went with Echo. Wait, it's magic or pure. That's all there is. Maybe not him then.
Trample is magical. I'm going to go 70.
Okay, I'll go with 70 as well. You changed my mind.
Hey. Doing my thing.
If Phoenix had his old Fire Spirits, I'd go with Phoenix, but right now he dishes out no damage.
Hey, damage was increased to Fire Spirits, by the way.
Wait, it was increased?
Yeah, from 15, 35, 55, 75 to 20, 40, 68.
Hey, but what was I smoking? Like, I was sure it got decreased.
Maybe you read backwards?
Yeah, maybe I did. Okay, so they actually increased it a little tiny bit. Nice. After having 10,000 patches of nerfing Fire Spirits, this spell used to deal like 60 damage on level 1. Like, it's now 20.
Gauntlet has been dropped, Wizard. I don't know if you saw it or you saw the glove go mid and slap 70. But it also kind of did the first few notes to Harry Potter. That was weird.
Didn't it? Yeah.
I was just like, are they... What's going on?
I heard the same thing. You're not crazy.
I hope they got the approval for that one. I'm really interested to see how this top lane goes. Like this Marcy tiny lane, especially up top. Like I was thinking maybe you dispose into toss with Avalanche under tower and just kill them that way. But like you're not gonna be near your tower.
I feel like it's gonna be hard to get kills on Tiny and Marcy here. You have Phoenix with the dive, so he should be fine. On the other side, Wraith King is a bit too tanky. Perhaps Phoenix is killable if he gets caught out of position. But overall, unlikely that we'll see anything crazy on the top lane.
Do you like the change to Marcy with the rebound and dispose, where dispose now slows and rebound now stuns?
I'm not sure if it made her stronger or weaker, really. I think maybe even a bit stronger.
They were doing a lot of damage there. Like ZZQ forced to Icarus dive away, but now that's on cooldown for 40 seconds. Interesting.
But that's the problem with Phoenix, right? Like, you have this mobility spell that's always necessary for you to survive, but the same spell has a huge cooldown. So once you use it, you better make sure you're in position. If you get caught, you're gonna die easily. One armor will not protect you.
Trample. Level 1 securing all the creeps, basically. It really is disgusting, this spell.
Didn't it, like... does it still kill the full wave?
Oh, he got 4 creeps off that one trample I saw before he leveled it to 2, so...
Because there was a play with level 1 trample, you just use it and you remember, you just kill the full wave, level 1, behind the tier 2 tower. Like, before they even start hitting you, you just kill the full wave.
very balanced hero. I don't really know Undyne's objective with this Alchemist, by the way, over in the bottom lane. It
Bottom
just
lane?
doesn't make sense to me as well. Now he's going to be skewered under the tower. He's going to charge up a stun, and he'll have some help from the Faceless Void in
Denied.
terms of a time dilation, and he will deny himself. So that kind of works out.
That was the
That was
perfect
really well
scenario
done.
for Undying. Yeah, that was so good because he also hurts them, right? Like he dishes out the damage, plus he gets that suicide with concussion. Really nicely done by him. So basically, an Alchemist 5 is the same as he always was. You just max out the acid spray and the stun, and that's it. Like, you're a strong laner. The only problem is usually you have some range hero that benefits from the acid spray that can't hit constantly. Void isn't truly that, but it's still okay. Like, it's playable.
Yeah,
The only question is like why? Like, yeah, my only question is why Alchemist over something else, like over some other position 5. What does the Alchemist provide you that some other hero with damage in the Chronosphere wouldn't? Like a Jakiro, let's say, you know, like something that actually combos well with you later on in the game.
Yeah, it was odd the way it got all drafted, right? Like it just didn't quite make sense the way it lined up, and it felt like almost anything over bottom instead of the Alchemist might have paired up a little bit better with this Faceless Void.
Yep, I completely agree. So far, 0 kills across the map, 6 minutes in. Well, we did see one deny, but these lanes are kind of boring, man. Like, nothing is happening. On the bottom lane, you can't really kill the Void, right? Like, you can just time walk away. Alchemist is killable, definitely, but he's playing it... Since that last fight, he's playing it safe.
Nobody really
Lane, maybe?
finding much any yet, but
Oh, wrong
stun and wrong toss.
Yeah.
Kind of very quiet overall. I think that we've seen this in the past where a couple of these early games in the Chinese region do get a little bit slow in the first end, but they usually break out in bunches.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting for the level 6 on mid lane. Right? Like, the moment Ember gets his, we have the Beast top lane already.
Yeah, 70's going to go in. There's a stun thrown by Shiro, but there's the rebound, and they've got the ult from 70 to get not only a kill, but first blood of all things on Shiro. He's only level 4, so he never was able to get that level 6 in time to have that that ult ready to go, but 70 makes his appearance and uses the pulverize.
70 actually got his level 6 much earlier than the Ember, so he was able to rotate quicker too.
Not really doing well with that trample that hits on the Echo. Stun thrown, but no trample to follow that up. He did have pulverize, but again, the mana questions. Is 70 going to build Primal Beast a different way, right? You'd think he might, considering the mana problems, but first item BKB.
He's doing the same thing once again. I mean, overall, it's not that terrible. Like, you have a wand and a bottle, so you can play around that in fights. But I definitely did notice a couple of team fights in that last game in which he struggled. Ember is going top, by the way, but he's scouted out.
Hey, Remnant's back towards 70, but nothing happening, as the only one really nearby is Undyne, and it's not exactly going to do him much to go towards that mid fight if it was just going to be him against Echo, but ZZQ is here, Echo as well, and they also had the Hoodwink coming over from the side. Quick pulverize on a ZZQ. He's doing a lot of damage, and he does have an Icarus dive and finally forces him to use it while Shiro dies and drops to this Marcy.
Yeah, they just caught him. They used the Unleash, they went behind the tower, killed off the Raid King quite easily. It usually happens when your position 5 is controlling the rune, right? Like, They saw the Phoenix on the mid lane. If you see the Phoenix on the mid lane, it's just so simple to go and assault the Great King. He was also level 5, so even if he wanted to have that ulti, he couldn't have it at that time.
Yeah, he's a full level behind this Marcy, and bottom lane they're gonna look for the Magnus Bash, but with heroes coming over, forget that. And they've brought Shiro into the mix.
He's not really having a good time, and
Chrono?
he's chronoed now too.
And they're gonna go forward looking for the onslaught to land somewhere. Stun to follow this up. He's still not level 6, so you need to be careful. But
Nice
now a
RP.
3-man RP, and that's gonna be followed up by a 3-man bushwhack. They've got Echo in. They're gonna try and throw a stun out. They're still surviving the Sunray, the pulverize, the damage, and they get the kill to Shiro, and they'll take out Echo. Somehow EHOME, they're empty-handed in this exchange, and they don't even get 7E. They lose Zeal instead, and CDEC put an exclamation point on that bottom lane gank.
Yeah, and that was insane. That was a 3-man RP into a 3-man bushwhack.
And the Sunray on all of them.
The Sunray on all of them, but it's all way too low level. Like, it's level 1 Sunray, it's level 2 bushwhack. They just don't have enough damage. Like, the Ember Spirit, it's not like he has level 4 Flame Guard or something. He has level 1 Flame Guard with Sleight of Fist maxed out, right? So he's not dishing out a ton of damage in these fights too. Yeah. Overall, I'm surprised just how little damage they can dish out at this point of the game.
ZZQ dying there.
Once they get the levels, I suppose, right?
You'd like to think so, but they're falling behind not only in gold but experience as well. Like, you can feel the difference in experience in these fights, and I'm not talking player experience, I'm talking hero experience.
Yeah, especially when you look at Shiro, like, this Raid King has fallen off quite heavily. Fallen off when he never really climbed up to fall off anything. He just had a really rough start. He does have Empower to work with here and there, so maybe that will help him gain back some of the momentum.
You'd like to think so, but he's currently sitting 2 levels behind on the Faceless Void. He just is not enjoying his time. He does have some stacks to work with, so I guess there's that. But you look at the net worth, and like the 3 heroes at the top right now are all on the side of CDEC. They're gonna look. Oh, they lined up the stun with the rebound. If the Avalanche was just a click earlier, maybe they even finish off Echo before he's able to get away.
They just need a good fight on the side of EHOME. They need one good fight once they get all their ultis, like level 6 on Phoenix. I think that's a big issue as well. I don't know who bought the Tome, but it definitely wasn't the Phoenix. He's still level 5. Like, it's one of those heroes that you really want to have as many levels on him as soon as possible. Perhaps he'll get something from the Ancient stack here.
Maybe I'm a little surprised, because usually you'll see like a Phoenix take over a lane a little bit. I know he's getting a lot of experience here standing next to Shiro for this stack, and he does get that level 6, but I almost want to say EHOME are put in this position where like ZZQ can't have a lane to himself at the moment. And this is almost usually a timing where in a lineup that includes the Phoenix where you get that, right?
Yeah, usually it is, but you can't have it when your lanes go so poorly like they did for EHOME. That's the problem. Sometimes you just have to sack yourself. You understand that the game is not going well, your cores need more. Any?
Yeah, Tiny trying to make something happen, but with nothing around him, it's not going to work out, and Zeal will get that Blink Dagger. So if you chose the Magnus, you won.
Yeah, he was just scouting things out a little bit, going a bit deeper, doing tiny things, right?
Right.
Sometimes you pay the price for it. What I'm interested in is Alchemist. Like, he's actually queuing up an Aghanim Scepter. Like, he's queuing up an Aghanim Scepter, but he has no points in Grievous Greed.
Yeah, that's going to be a very normal paced Ags.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how do you even... When do you farm that? They can give him some space, but I would even argue that that space would be better used somewhere
RP
else.
bottom. They're going to try and go for this Faceless Void, and they put it all together to get this kill. using that sharpshooter, following it up with a Wraithfire Blast on the RP, so they have the damage to get this Faceless Void. Mid lane and Avalanche is there. Toss up into the air. They'll get themselves a kill onto Echo and look to get a tier 1. The onslaught forward hits on a ZZQ. He'll try to run, but eventually with no Icarus dive, he will fall, and it will be to this Marcy.
Like, you can't tag there. There's just too many heroes. Marcy with Unleash. That tag dies 100%. Even if you egg, like, there's no follow-up, so you would be wasting your ulti. Look, overall, the CDC definitely still feel like they're in control, but you could see a nice thing there. The Void kill was pretty significant for EHOME too, right? Like, it proves that they can actually take a fight. Nice dodge by the Hoodwink there.
Yeah, cheeky movement with the sharpshooter onto the low ground. Maelstrom for this Void, and I'm going to look at the Alchemist again. He has taken a point in Grievel's Greed.
Nice. We have a point.
And
First
I believe
one,
he's got a point booster. Did he buy a point booster?
Probably. Yeah, it's flying over in the courier. That's all that level 1 Grievel's Greed right there coming into play.
Farming so fast. Bushwhack and Sharpshooter gonna be thrown over on to this Alchemist, who finally dies with the Slight. Onslaught in with a BKB, goes to the Pulverize. Sure, RP comes out from Zeal. It's gonna be on a 2. They've got themselves the egg, and it doesn't go off. They get the kill on his EZQ. The time dilation over on the Echo. He's trying to run. He's got the Remnant away, but they'll onslaught and follow him. So they'll stick with Echo. He'll use another Remnant over to the side with the Wraithfire Blast, hitting on a QEQ. So he needs to be careful about how he approaches this, but he still has that Chronosphere. If they find an opening that might benefit them, the right clicks in onto the Marcy as the Avalanche is going to be thrown forward onto Shiro. They've got the Hoodwink over to the side too, and no slight connection for Echo as, well, Faceless Void will back off, and he still has this Chronosphere to work with.
He wanted to use that Chronosphere like 10 times in that whole engagement, but every single time he wants to use it, he realizes if I do it, I'm gonna catch a couple of my teammates as well. One of them probably dies. Yeah, it was never really that great. He wanted to use it, but there's just no solid follow-up, which is something that we mentioned earlier. Like, this team on the side of CDC is really bad with the Chronosphere. Like, they just don't contribute in it at all.
Oh, Undyne again. He is very dead. This time Planet gets the kill. Still a 5k lead, and I know it's, quote, an Alchemist lineup, but it's not like Alchemist is exactly farming anything at the moment, so it is really just that natural 5k lead as there's going to be a fight looking for this Tiny. Avalanche onslaught, and all of a sudden Echo takes a lot of damage and even falls after they get the kill on the Imitator.
That's super worth it for CDC right there. 70 getting that counter kill on Ember. What happened? He didn't have enough mana, right? Like, he couldn't get out. Wasted way too much on the Tiny.
Yeah, a lockdown completely, and that was really well done by Imitator too to get that before he fell.
Do you like the Mjolnir on Faceless Void? He's like, yeah, no one is gonna deal damage in this chrono. I need to rush the Mjolnir as fast as possible. Just be my own damage dealer. Plus it helps versus the Phoenix, right? Getting that Hyperstone bonus attack.
Yeah, anything that's going to help get this egg, as they just got it last time. Like, that was really close. That was last second. Kind of close, as they're going to get themselves their hands on the first Roche too. So first Aegis into the side of CDC. Wraithfire Blast, RP comes out, and they've got the Supernova once again. So Imitator falls, and the right click damage to take out a second. They'll end up losing the Marcy. Two heroes gone as these ults kind of combine really well, and CDC don't quite have the answers yet. And even with BKBs, it's not really an answer for them.
There's still a blink.
Whenever RP's available, they're gonna go forward. They'll look for the sharpshooter. They've got the Wraithfire Blast. BKB comes out now, trying to maybe turn this around with a trample, but 70 doesn't have a lot of life left, and that right click almost takes him out.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, if they just turned instantly, if Ember perhaps hit him instead of running away, maybe they could have killed him. Nice attempt from EHOME though. Like, the blink and skewer into the tree to bushwhack. It was a nice attempt to take down the Primal Beast, but he's just way too tanky. The fight, the way it started on its own, wasn't that great, though. They're running in on the high ground without Unleash. And you just can't deal with the egg that way.
They need to be really certain with their movements on CDC because they can get punished very easily. Get this Aegis though, so we'll see what they want to do.
You just wait out for the BKBs. Primal Beast has his in like 30 seconds. Marcy should have her, I mean the cooldowns. She has her right now. With those, you can already plan on making the next move, but it's EHOME that smokes up instead.
And they're gonna look. They're trying to go as Onslaught pulverized. First life out of the hands of the Wraith King. Can they follow it up with the second kill? Well, Shiro's gonna try and run away, and there's the Chronosphere coming out. But where is this follow-up damage? They'll finally find it with a kill on a planet as well as Echo. There was a lot of damage that came out afterwards as they'll get themselves 3, but this RP, is it going to be enough? They've got themselves a double damage. They'll take the Aegis out of the hands of this Faceless Void. Undyne, he's not really an unprize as they're going to throw over that stun. They've got the Unstable Concoction, and one slam on the Pulverize flattens those bones and grinds them up into a pulp. They have Zeal in their hands. They'll get the full team wipe and CDC. The last fight didn't go their way, but this one certainly did, as they will wipe the floor with EHOME on this one.
They lost the Aegis. The Chronosphere did not look that great as he got bushwhacked instantly as he used it, right? But the follow-up was just incredibly well organized by CDC. Like, it's mostly the Marcy. The amount of damage that she's dishing in, like, not only the damage, the control. I feel like it's something that EHOME isn't ready for. Like, they're not truly ready for the stuns that come from Marcy. So Ember gets caught, he dies easily. Then the rest was... It even looked nice for EHOME, right? The RP plus the empowered Wraith King, they dished out a ton of damage, but just not enough. Everyone is low, but no one is really dying on the side of CDC.
Yeah, they were able to survive quite handily, and meanwhile, by the way, Undyne gave over an Ags to the Faceless Void. Finally got it. Level 1 Grievel's Greed.
Yeah. Helps out with the farming pattern as well, a little bit. Later on, helps out with the damage, obviously. But by the way, Primal Beast did adjust his item build to the last game. So he's not going for the Aghanim's this time around. He has an Alchemist, right? So he's gonna get it eventually. Instead, he went for Kai and Sanj, next Shivas. I like this way more.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't have an Alchemist, I still think this build would be my preferred one.
Dispose, and the damage from the Marcy. All of a sudden, they get the first life out of the hands of the Wraith King, and the Onslaught stun. They'll have the lockdown. There's the Pulverized. Sharpshooter comes out, but they get the kill on a shield. They'll take out Zeal. They bought back on the Phoenix, and Echo trying to make something out of nothing. He wants at least Imitator, and he will at least get that, but does he survive? They go over with 7E again. They're right on top of this Ember, and he cannot remnant away. So Echo's dead, and another fight going the way of CDEC. And to get back to your point about 7E changing up the build, it was this Kaya Sanj that came out after the Ags, or at least that's what he wanted to be building. So now that he's got the benefit of potentially getting an Ags there from the Alchemist at some point, I do like the item change, but he also gets this occult bracelet, which feels really good for him.
Yeah, it does, right? Like, especially on this hero. You're gonna get hit 100% because you're always frontlining.
Yeah.
So you get that mana region that you so desperately need. You don't need it as much as you did in the last game because you had now you have Kaya, but yeah, it's definitely a good one. It's a smoke, yeah, it is.
Oh yeah,
Smoke
5-man
up.
smoke. This could be the end of the game if EHOME don't really find a way to turn this around, or at least a high ground push. Like EHOME have just fallen so far behind, and it's not going to get much easier. Time walk into an awkward spot. Avalanche came out. They're also going to rebound, maybe looking for the dispose on Ashiro, but a botched initiation from CDEC.
It was a good play from EHOME. It's not only a botched initiation from CDEC. Why was it botched? It's because EHOME just played that so nicely. They moved the Phoenix. They understood that smoke was happening like 90%, and they instantly started setting up this high ground position to defend themselves from that. Phoenix being probably, well, Phoenix and Magnus being the best heroes to actually stand on high ground. They broke the smoke, moved back. Really nicely done by EHOME.
Dire's middle tower is under
It certainly was close though, right? Like it could have been very dangerous had the time walk been in a little bit more of a closer position, but I think maybe even playing it a little bit safe from the Faceless Void, not going towards the base.
It's truly always like that. Always like that when you're smoking up and the enemy team is expecting it. It's always going to be dangerous for the team that's expecting it, but you have the benefit of the high ground.
Dire's
So,
bottom
Right.
tower is under attack.
by the way, all my predictions so far correct, together with your 70.
Well, I am 1 for 2 because I picked Imitator to get his blink before Zeal. I thought maybe Zeal would go with a different build. Ooh, blink. Speaking of it, toss back onto Zeal from Imitator. They've got the unstable concoction, the onslaught to follow, and a very easy kill onto the Magnus, looking for potential +1 in Planet, but he's able to scurry on along.
Yeah, that's it, boy. Make that line towards top lane. I need the Raxus to fall before minute 30.
What did I choose for that? I chose 20 to 30 as well.
Yeah, same. It was kind of cocky. It's very early, but it's doable.
15k lead, it is very doable, it seems.
Yeah. I'm just surprised how EHOME weren't able to take down anyone in these fights. It all comes down really to how much they suffered in the laning stage. Like, you suffer too much, you're always a level or two behind, an item behind, and then even if you do everything right, they still have that leeway, right? Like, they still have that extra 5 seconds to do something about your combo.
Mhm. The speed in which Onslaught move is pretty nuts.
You like it?
It's very
Ember
fast.
has been caught.
Yeah, he is in some trouble, but, well, now Searing Chains as well as the Skewer on Imitator. He's not imitating enough, but, well, they get the kill on a Zeal. They'll lose the Tiny, and Echo's going to be a fatality there for the side of EHOME. I don't know if they were expecting to lose both of them, but a 2-for-1 when you're trading the price of a Tiny certainly feels worth it.
Even the Tiny, I felt like he didn't have to die. Like, when Tiny jumped in on the Ember, tossed him in the air and stunned him, I felt like maybe there was an opportunity for Void to jump in and chrono. He decided not to. It was a risky move. But then they still killed the Ember, plus the Ember used BKB. So it's perfect for them, really. It ended up being even better. Now all they have to do is take Raxus. Come on, guys. Have 2.5 minutes remaining. I need those Raxus to fall.
I only won, guys. Only one.
Just one Rax, you know? Arranged. That's all I need.
Yeah, please. So, like, take this rush really quickly and then push.
Exactly.
They're going to try and smoke, but, like, yeah, at 70, he doesn't even need to be in the Roche pit. He can just frontline. He's got no fear. He's got a Shivas. He's so tanky. He's strong, and they can't find their way in. Aegis into the hands of the Faceless Void once again. Bushwhack as well as the Boomerang, and a time dilation coming through onto this Hoodwink. They're going to try and clean up as EHOME trying to fight. They were trying to get themselves an Aegis, but they're going to lose themselves Planet, and he'll buy back immediately. Reincarnation is gone. They've got themselves, oh, the RP. They'll take out Undyne, but they end up losing Echo. They've got the damage, but not enough damage. Time Walk in, Time Walk back into the Supernova. Not the Hokey Pokey they were looking for, but still another Time Walk and another kill on a Shiro. They'll look for Echo, the BKB. What's it doing for you? Not much. Sleight of Fist looking for the Remnant, but here comes the Pulverize, as he'll pulverize your hopes of winning this game into the ground.
It was interesting the way Faceless Void time walked out and then time walked in straight into the egg. Gets RP together with the Alchemist, but it truly doesn't matter at this point. He is so big. 23k ahead. 24k is his net worth. So, like, how do you even take down the Void? Like, that's it, right? Like, you always get him low enough, but it's never kills him. He always has that opportunity to time walk away.
Only at a time like this, they had Exorcism to take these towers in the next 30 seconds.
I'm very sad. Very, very sad. Come on, everyone.
Everybody push at the same time. Get us our first racks, please.
They don't have RP. Come on, guys. You can do it.
Oh, gosh. Time Walk in with the Ags. They're not focusing the racks, but they are going to try and focus the life of this Faceless Void. They get the kill on Azeel. It's just Time Walk and health back, and Shiro's gone once again. They'll call GG, and that's going to be the end of the game.
Chrono them.
Oh, he chrono. No racks to get. Oh, no. Bad for us, good for CDEC, though, as they take a 2-0 over EHOME.
Oh, very sad. Very sad. Oh, wait, what? I actually voted for CDEC when it comes to Roshan kills, so I'm 2 out of 4.
Yeah, same.
Very sad. Very sad.
Really well done there by CDC. They had a grasp on both games, and then this one.